Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Annette Magnus joins us today. She is founder of AM Solutions, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we are always delighted to welcome back to the program Annette Magnus. Now she is founder of AM Solutions. All right, give us your pitch. What is AM Solutions?
Well, I've started my consulting firm thanks to Sam and so many mentors in my life who helped me get to this point and figure out what I wanted to do next. And so AM Solutions is my new consulting firm. I am working on with six different clients already. I've been working on psilocybin. I've been working on childcare, affordable childcare, and other things that affect parents. So already working on issues, working with some candidates, and I'm really excited to be officially back in things, officially back in the political world doing this work. So what I'm planning to do is communications work, as I always do. I love doing media, lobbying. I want to go back up to Carson City. As painful as it is, I can't get away from it. I love it. And then, all of the other issue advocacy that I've done for the 20 years that I was in politics before this, I want to continue that work. So really excited. And this is the first show I'm doing, officially launching AM Solutions. And so I'm really proud of that. And thank you, Sam, for all your help.
Well, you're very welcome. I did a tiny thing. So
just a little mentoring, and it always helps.
Well, I'm glad that I was able to help. And I look forward, because we usually are in Carson City for 3 of the 4 months of the session. We tend to duck out of that first month because there's not a lot going on. But we'll be looking forward to seeing you 7 a.m. bright and early at the bank exchange in Carson City.
I'll be there. You know it.
All right, beautiful. Let's start out then with childcare, because one of the things I've said on this show 1,000 times is it makes no sense to me that somebody who has even just one child is going to be making, even if they're making 18, 20 bucks an hour, that they're spending most of that on childcare. And what do you see as the solution for this? And if they have more than one kid, then it makes no sense for them to be in the workforce, and we're the losers.
100%. And there's so much talent out there. especially with, parents, moms, dads. This impacts all of us, really. And what I have been seeing as I've started this journey working on childcare and helping parents make sure that they have what they need to make ends meet, we're looking at things like the child tax credit. That was a really impactful program for parents during the pandemic when they were getting those relief checks. It wasn't a ton of money, but it was still something to help supplement that income that they are not getting. And you're right, you cannot pay childcare with making $20 an hour. It just doesn't work. And a lot of childcare now, we see it as, early learning. We see it as, it's not just daycare anymore. There's so much more to it. And so what's so important about that is that a lot of parents are paying upwards of what a college tuition would cost for their kids to be enrolled in some sort of daycare or after school program or something like that. Before I was in politics, I actually ran a daycare. I ran a safety program here in Las Vegas. And I saw parents struggling to be able to make ends meet, to pay for the safety, get their kids there, and then be able to pick them up in time after school because they were working 2 and 3 jobs. So it's such a complex issue and there's so much to it. And frankly, it's the reason why many parents, many young people have opted to have one child, or some young people have opted to have no children, is because it's so expensive now to raise children. And so it's a real thing that young people are starting to consider.
So that puts it right in the middle of multiple conundrums. One is that we need population to replace aging population who dies, and that is a natural course of things. And if we're not going to be doing that to the level we need it to, and look at what happened with China and their one-child policy, now they're desperately trying to reverse that, and that's not going anywhere. We need immigration, and yet Congress has done nothing of substance since 1986, which I'm guessing is probably a couple of years before you were born.
I was two. I wish I was younger than that, but no, but I was 2. You're right.
So what are your thoughts on how do we get Congress to come up? Everybody talks about comprehensive immigration reform.
Yeah.
And as somebody who's studied immigration for many, many years, I don't think that's the answer. I think you've got to pick it apart and do lots of little things, and then in the end, you're going to end up with comprehensive immigration reform. But if all you're doing is trying to do everything, it's too big of a sandwich to bite on.
Yeah, and I think this is such a complex issue. Starting at the beginning with, your question about population, I decided with my husband that we were not going to have kids. That was a decision that we made together because it just wasn't the right fit for us. And I think you do see many millennials, many younger people than even us making those decisions because it's just not what we want to do. And we live very different lifestyles than our parents did. And it also is because, when you look at the world is in chaos right now. You have things that are more expensive. Buying a home was almost impossible for us. The only reason why we could buy a home when we did was because the market crashed. We shouldn't have to wait for a market to crash to be able to enter into that. I saw an article just this week that millennials can't buy homes because they're priced out of them. They're not making enough money, yet, they are still renting because they can't afford to buy a house. Those are the real decisions that young people in this country, 40 and under, are facing right now. And so it doesn't make financial sense for some people to make that choice. And I think that is the true underlying issue with all of this. And for those who do choose to have children, absolutely, they should be able to do that, afford childcare, afford to have a home, and afford to do the things they want to do with their lives, travel, see the world. But unfortunately, the American dream that our parents grew up in is not the same American dream that all of us are inheriting. And the world looks a lot different financially, economically than it did then. Now, on immigration reform, I don't know what it's going to take for Congress to get that done. I think the best chance we had was when Senator McCain and others came together in a bipartisan way and put a proposal together And that couldn't even pass with Senator McCain leading it. So I am very worried that we are going to keep going down a path where we kick this can down the road. The immigration system in this country has been broken since my grandparents immigrated here from Italy. And it's not getting any better. In fact, it's getting worse. And so, unless there is some sort of reform, whether it's picking it apart and doing it little piece by little piece or a big reform, something has to be done. But getting Congress to agree on anything, you and I know this, is virtually impossible at this point. That's why we're looking to the states to work on these important issues. And so, I think it's high time that all of us, regardless of parties, look at the Congress and say, you have to get something done on this issue, because that's the only way we're going to get it done.
And whether you agree or disagree with what Texas is doing something. I mean, I say, whether you agree or disagree, but Governor Abbott has made a decision that he's going to make a stand here. And that's what he's doing. And one would think that that is enough to shake up Congress to go, whoa, this isn't a state's issue, this is a federal issue. We need to take back the control. And yet there is nothing that's being done that in any concrete way. There's a lot of talk, but in any concrete way.
Well, and you see Congress, they're making decisions about women's bodies. They're taking stands on ridiculous things that they shouldn't be taking stands on, leaving, abortion now to the states. And then not wanting to take up immigration reform. And Texas is just, doing whatever they want, which is going to harm people. So I don't know that I just feel like Congress has lost their way. They don't know which way they're going. And I will say, I also think that having this divided government in terms of the margins being so close has actually done more harm than good, because no party really can get anything done because we're just experiencing gridlock all the time.
All right, but the other side of that coin is that if you're having gridlock all the time because people are operating on the fringes, then shouldn't we start to, and there are efforts, but shouldn't we start to see more things being brought to the middle where people are having these conversations, because they're going on behind closed doors. There are lots of things that are being accomplished in both the state level and a congressional level, but the media never talks about them.
Yeah, there are small things at the congressional level that are being done, but these big proposals are not getting where they need to be. And I always like to point to Nevada when we talk about this issue, because I believe in Nevada, we still have a bipartisan legislature. Yes, I identify as progressive. I am a Democrat, but I also have friends who are on the right. I have to work across the aisle to get things done in Nevada. And I think that is the difference about talking about state politics versus the federal level. Our state politics in Nevada, yes, we have a session every other year and it doesn't make for great lawmaking all the time, but it does happen in a bipartisan way. And we are able to find common ground in the middle. And all of us have to compromise. And I think the federal government needs to look to states on how to govern, because I actually think the states are doing a better job right now than the federal government is.
Interesting you say that when, of course, one of the rallying cries for Democrats is the governor's 75 vetoes at the last session. But there, I do agree with you. And again, first of all, we don't have enough media and knowledgeable media to be able to cover all the issues. We cover the big things, but we don't necessarily get to cover the smaller things. Hopefully we can do more on this show than in other places. But lobbyists, including yourself, need to get things done, otherwise you don't get paid. And that means working across the aisle. And so there are lots of line items that go into must-pass bills that actually get business done, because otherwise this country would not function at all.
100%. And, I have been involved in bills where I've had to work across the aisle. I've been involved in bills where I've had to, compromise on things that maybe I didn't want to compromise on, but we had to get something rather than nothing. And who am I to tell a worker, hey, you shouldn't get higher wages because it's not this amount, it's this amount. So I also learned, though, from Congresswoman Titus when she was in the state legislature. That's who I worked for, that's who I got my start under. And she used to have to work across the aisle with Bill Raggio all the time because the Democrats were in the minority and the Republicans were in the majority. And they still worked and got things done. And there are very significant bills I can point to that she got done under her name while working in a Republican Senate. And so that's the examples that I'm talking about. Is is Joe Lombardo perfect? No, he's far from it. And will we hold him accountable? Absolutely. But there were still good things that got done last session, and we need to point to those as well.
Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll get into some specific races after this timeout with Annette Magnus, founder of AM Solutions, after this timeout.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low, and our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way, because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Annette Magnus. She is the founder of AM Solutions. So there was a very interesting article yesterday in the New York Times by a doctor, I think he's in Minnesota, who's close to 80. And he's been taking care of people in his small town for decades. And they're all aging with him. And he keeps on doctoring because that's what's keeping him, in quotes, young. But he's talking about the reality that as you get older, things start to slow down and things start to fail. And, it's a reality. And here we have two of the oldest candidates running for president of the United States. How does this strike you?
Well, as somebody who is also rapidly aging,
you got a ways to go, girl.
But I'm not 25 anymore. My knees know that. It's interesting because I do think we need to look at the way we elect our politicians. And I do think that we need to start to consider age. But for me, I don't just want to elect somebody, okay, they're 80. They still may have a lot to offer. And just because of their age doesn't mean that they're not still able to do the job. I think Joe Biden can run probably way further than I could at this point in my life. And so I want to make sure that we have the person with the most experience who can handle big crises, which we have happening all over the world, somebody who is stable, somebody who is smart, And if they happen to be 80, I guess, they happen to be 80. But would I like us to look at younger people too? Absolutely. I think younger people also have a lot to offer. So I will say this. I don't understand why Joe Biden gets a bad rap about his age when Donald Trump is just as old. And I think that overall, whether it's the presidency, Congress, the state legislature, I think we need to be opening up paths for younger people to run for office because oftentimes the reason why people don't run when they're younger is a lot like childcare. They don't have the means to actually do it. In the state of Nevada, they only get paid $9,000 for half of the session to run. I don't have that financial capability to do that. Other people I know don't have the financial capability to run for the state legislature. So oftentimes you get older people or you get more wealthy people who are running for these offices, and that sets them up to run long term. And so if you're not creating a pipeline for young people to get into office, you're not going to see younger people running for things like the presidency.
Well, the other part of it is too, is that, who wants to take the bombardment of negative advertising that's going to hit you when you do run for office, and that your family and your friends are going to have to deal with seeing what an awful person you are, no matter who you are. Let's take another break. I got a couple of races in particular I want to talk to you about after this timeout.
Story County is leading Nevada. Home of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, Google, Tesla, Panasonic, and other world-leading companies. Story County provides thousands of tech, advanced manufacturing, and logistics careers for Nevadans. We're diversifying and driving Nevada's economy and generating millions in tax revenue and billions in economic activity across northern Nevada. Story County is leading Nevada's future.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Turn your clunker into a caddy during the Cadillac and Cash giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Weekly cash drawings including $5,000 cash and one top prize of $10,000. Win the grand prize of a Cadillac CT4 or $40,000 in cash. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Annette Magnus. She is the founder of AM Solutions, and she is available for hire.
Thanks, Sam.
The Jackie Rosen race, excuse me, it looks like Sam Brown is going to be the candidate on the Senate side, although that is not decided yet. I'd love to see some debates on the Republican side. But it seems to me that Jackie Rosen, although she has been more than willing to be on this program and has been ever since she went to Congress, but her appearances, because of the way TV news is set up these days, it seems that people really don't know who she is until there's an election. What do we do about this?
Well, I think it's a problem in every race we have in Nevada. She is out there. She is campaigning. She is in your face when you want her to be in your face, right? Like, she is doing everything she needs to do. But sometimes I also think that Nevadans don't pay attention. And I have seen from polling and from just the other work that I've done over time, Nevadans have a very short attention span. And so they don't start paying attention to their elections and who's running or who's even elected for them until usually an election year in like September. And so I think that's another part of this is when we're educating people, when we're educating our young people, we need to make sure they understand who their elected officials are, how to get information about them, and why they should care. I think the other part of this is Nevada is an incredibly transient state. I am a rarity being a second generation Nevadan, but there are a lot of people who move here, move around, move out of the state, move back into the state, and they lose track of who their elected officials are. So we have to do a better job of educating those people as well. And so I know there's a lot of groups out there on the ground doing that work day in and day out, but I think it's everybody's responsibility to know who their elected officials are and to, engage with them and hold them accountable.
And that's where we have to leave it for today. But here's the good news. I will be taping in Vegas in May, and I hope you'll come by and visit with us.
I
when
will.
we're there.
I would be happy to. I'd love to see you, Sam.
All right, that would be great. AM Solutions is the company. Annette Magnus is the founder. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Sam.
And we'll be right back.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
7 at 7 is a newscast built for your smartphone. It's a 7-minute newscast available every weekday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. at lvrj.com. We don't waste your time, and we give you the day's top stories.
We at the RJ have noticed some similarities between us and a certain BTS character, RJ.
Plus the latest in Las Vegas business, weather, health, and entertainment news. 7 at 7 streaming now on your smartphone.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. You can catch us online 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com, or you can download the podcast wherever you like to get your podcast. We'll see you on the next broadcast.